Hello, this is Lawrence again. I'm not using the quick capture this time, and I'm just hoping that this works and that my voice is in synchronization with what you see, even though I'm having to keep my voice down because of the neighbours. It's very late. It's 1:45 in the morning. Sorry. Smoking, I should stop. Another nail in the coffin. Early childhood. As you may know, my early childhood was spent on two RAF bases. Firstly, RAF Wattisham, and then RAF Wittering. Now, my father was in the RAF. He was a military police officer. My mother also worked. She worked part-time cleaning officers' houses and at the NAFI. Now, the NAFI is a kind of RAF supermarket, and she worked there on the till or the checkout, and I went to school on the RAF base. We got to Wittering, and obviously then it was a different school. I was very good at English, very good with words, very good at spelling. The last school that I was at Wattisham, they told me I had a reading age of 15, which isn't bad at all for someone of just 6. But at Wittering, my form teacher was somebody called Mrs. Brown. Now, Mrs. Brown understood that I was good at English. My big problem was that I was very poor with numbers. Maths was not my subject. Now, Mrs. Brown decided in her infinite wisdom that I, because I was poor with figures, wasn't up to keeping up with the rest of the class. And so she decided that I belonged in a special class for those who are slow learners. Which is all well and good, but I was not a slow learner. I just didn't have a head for figures, and I found it difficult. Her job was to teach. She felt that I couldn't be taught by her, despite me having a reading age of 15. So they put me in a remedial class. And that damaged me greatly and really knocked my confidence at a very young age. And obviously, of course, in the remedial class, the children in there were not very good with figures, but they weren't very good with reading and writing either. So subsequently, I was brought down to their level. It did me a lot of damage, and I believe to this very day that Mrs. Brown was responsible for me losing my confidence, which followed me right through to adulthood. To cut a long story short, because time's getting on, a teacher called Miss Gray, who worked part-time in the remedial class, decided that Mrs. Brown was wrong and that I didn't belong there. And my parents were called to the school, and I was put back into Mrs. Brown's class. And I'll tell you more about this in my next video. It's very late. I should be in bed, really. The voice is going. So I'll bid you good night and speak with you very soon. Good night.